welcome back to another episode of Between Us Girlies. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Bailey.
I'm Casey.
And I'm Bran.
And for today's girly quote, yours truly is going to choose one. And I picked this quote for two reasons. Number one, even though you girlies are listening in March, we're filming in February, and I had to end it with a Black History bang by a really iconic Black woman. Also, we got a lot of comments in our Ask Me Anything between me, Casey, and Bailey. Brandon hasn't gone yet, but a lot of girlies were asking for tips and advice on how to be themselves and get out of situationships and just like health and wellness questions. So my quote is by the iconic Toni Morrison, and it is, "You are your best thing." And I think that's a really important thing to remember.
I love that.
Amazing.
With that being said, let's dive into the episode. Casey and Brandon, I think it would be only right for you guys to take it off. I mean, you guys had a crazy time.
We sure did. So for our viewers at home who maybe did not see our social media, we were in Aspen this weekend. Celsius invited me to come to the Palm Tree Music Festival, which they do twice a year, once in the Hamptons during the summer and once in the winter in Aspen. I brought my dear friend Casey because she's the music festival queen. And yeah, we had a time.
Yeah.
We had a
Still
time.
recovering, and it's about 4 days later.
Yeah,
days
so
later.
we normally film on Mondays, and we had to text these girlies and say, "Hey, y'all, we can't record today. Our brains are still dial-up internet." But I guess let's just start from the top. So we left Friday morning at 5:58 in the morning, which means we woke up at 3 a.m. This will be relevant because you will find out that Casey and I slept a collective of 9 hours over 3 days, when most people sleep 9 hours in one evening. So we get on our plane. Casey and I do not sleep the whole entire flight, but it was good vibes. We were so excited.
Yeah.
We were
How long
just
was the
eager. So we had a layover. The first flight was to Chicago. I don't even think we left the ground. Like the second we left the ground, it felt like we landed.
Yeah.
Like it
I
was
love
the
when that happens.
fastest, most efficient flight. The flight attendants were standing on business. They knew it was early as fuck. They turned the lights off. No one spoke. There was no kids, nothing. Second flight was from Chicago to Aspen. And Casey, you want to take this part? Because Casey decides that she's going to go on a deep dive of altitude sickness during our layover in the Chicago airport.
Yeah, that was a mistake. So I had heard about altitude sickness, I think from a TikTok, and then we were sitting waiting to board, and I was like, fuck, we should probably like look up to see what altitude sickness like actually is. And that was really just the worst decision I ever could have made, because Brandon and I started freaking each other out, and we're like, because for people who don't know, altitude sickness, because Aspen is so high up, it's such a change for your body that people get like really, really sick. You feel lightheaded, you feel nauseous, you can't breathe, like a lot of crazy things. And we were only in Aspen for 48 hours. We were only there from Friday to Sunday. So I'm like, we don't have time to like be sick. Like we have to just like hit the ground running. And it just scared the fuck out of us. We started freaking out about everything that we were going to do that was going to like kill us, because we thought we were going to die of altitude sickness.
They recommended avoiding caffeine and alcohol. Well, we had just both chugged a shaken espresso. We were going on a trip where we were going to be drinking at a music festival with Celsius, a brand that is highly caffeinated. So I just said, listen, there is nothing we can do. We are just going to have to accept the fact that we're going to die. And I almost did.
It's out of your hands.
Take
Out of
that
our
L.
hands, out of my head. So we get on the plane. We land in Aspen. Vibes are immaculate. It is beautiful. We stay at this gorgeous hotel. There's a sweet guy working named Esteban. He smelled so good.
He was a chicken pot pie. Like, I genuinely want him to be a girly. Like, I wish he was on this podcast right now. He was so nice. He was just like this cute little, oh my God, he was just a little chicken, and he took such good care of us.
And he like offered to give us a tour of our room because we were in like a suite. We were like, sure. But one critical detail I remembered after this whole trip is that he showed us a humidifier, and he was like, use this, the air gets really dry. And we were just like, okay, cool. We should have used that. But yeah, we're like walking around Aspen, and then we realized.
Real quick, I want to say, because I've always wanted to go to Aspen. So like, because it's so expensive there. Is it like the most expensive city?
It's
or like
one of
up
like
there?
the richest counties in the
Yeah.
US.
It's like snow cities too. Like
Genuinely, the air is rich there. Like, we got off the plane and I was like, oh fuck, like this, like you feel it. It is crazy. I like can't even explain it, but everything just feels expensive and rich. Like the trash cans, the like trees are like perfectly groomed. Like it just looks like a movie set. It's like,
Wow,
yeah,
Hallmark.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
We had a delicious lunch at our hotel, and then we like got back and we were like, okay, like let's lay down. And we realized it was 3:00, and our contact for Celsius was like, you should get to the festival by 4. And I was like, oh my God, okay, we've slept for an hour, but sure. And Casey takes like an hour and a half to get ready. So I was like, I don't think we have time for this.
And we were so fucked up from the time changes because Aspen's like 2
hours
hours
behind.
But when we landed in like from Philly to Chicago, that was a different time zone.
Oh, that'll
and then
do
from
it.
Chicago to Aspen, that was a different time zone. And at one point, both Brandon and I's phones said a different time. Like mine said one and his said the other. And I was like, well, I don't know what time the fuck it is. Like we just got to keep it moving.
So we get ready. We go to the music festival. We have like a whole like booth at Celsius. The people are so nice that work for Celsius. They hook us up with merch, drinks, sushi. Like this music festival served Nobu.
It looked insane.
It was insane.
You're lucky that's your hangover food.
Yeah, true. Except that was what was giving me my drunk. So it didn't really.
Yeah, like I loved it, but I was like, where can I get the chicken fingers and the sliders? Like full
Get
Philly. I
us.
was like, where's the Philly soft pretzels? But yeah, we had a really good group of people that came. We made best friends. Shout out to Olivia.
We love
Olivia
her.
was Paige Lorenz's +1. She works for Paige's brand, Dairy Boy. She was like our third for the weekend. Like we had such a blast with her. Like she just, you know, when just someone feels like home, like she just felt like home.
Like the exact same energy as us, like exactly what we
that's
wanted. She was
perfect.
just like so much fun. Yeah, we absolutely
And
stand
she's
her.
like been to Aspen before, so she like kind of had a lot of like people that she knew and was like, she knew all of the clubs. She was like, you guys have to come with me here and here. So we were like, this is our girl. And the first time was good. David Guetta was amazing.
yeah.
Oh, he was there?
I literally watched it perform and I go, oh, this is a full Super Bowl halftime show. Like I forgot how many bops
Yes.
that David Guetta is responsible for.
Sexy
Yeah.
chick. Ooh,
Yeah.
she's
Who's
a
that
sexy-
chick?
That was the one that came on. I was like, oh my God, I forgot this was him. It was insane. So yeah, we had a fun night. And then we decided to go back to our hotel, and any normal person would have changed and went to sleep. We have now been approaching 24 hours of being awake because it is now about 2 a.m. Philly time and it is midnight Aspen time. And we said, let's go out.
We like went back to the hotel. We changed. We had so much, you know how you have so much energy like as you're talking about something, and then like the Uber ride from the festival back to the hotel, we started to get a little quiet, and then like the walk up to the hotel room, we were a little more quiet, and then both of us just looked at each other with bloodshot eyes, and I was like, I'm exhausted, and he was like, should we like lay down? So we like sat there for a second, and we were like, fuck it, we're in Aspen for who knows when the next time we'll have a chance to go to Aspen. So we just forced ourselves to go back out, which was rough, but couldn't have been more worth it.
It's okay. It's also like sometimes better to like be with the local time too.
Mm.
Like otherwise you wouldn't have to sleep and like would have been on like East Coast time or whatever, Chicago time. So it's probably better. I mean, not good 'cause
Yeah.
whatever you guys went through, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we go to this after party at this club called Belly Up in Aspen. Celsius has a table and it is just electric. The way that it's like set up, it's almost like bleachers where the performers are on the field and you stand above. It's almost like arena seating. But their drama, which is like someone who performed at the festival, amazing group.
So cool.
They are playing bop after bop, their own music, and then they're throwing in like EDM. They're playing Take It Off by Fisher. And like all of a sudden, Casey just looks at me. She's like, this is the best night of my life. So we're having so much fun. Liv meets up with us and she's like, guys, like you have to come with me to this place called Gala. And we're like, okay. She's like, but I'm warning you now, like it's really exclusive. And I was like, you're already giving me anxiety, babes. Like, I don't know if you know me, but I'm a man. So I'm assuming that they're not going to treat men great at this spot, especially overweight men. But sure,
Brandon.
Liv, I'll go along with you.
It's
Here we
also
go.
that one, Aspen is really small. Like it's a very small city. So, well, I mean, I guess like the area that we were. So you kind of see the same people. And I guess because it's so expensive, celebrities aren't really celebrities there. Like
Yeah.
they really just walk around. Like we were literally at brunch and Alex, Earl, and Braxton like walked past us. And like bigger name celebrities are like literally at our VIP table. And it's just like so casual. Like
Yeah.
no one cares there.
Danny
So like
Amendola is just walking around like the festival. We saw Morgan Wallen walk by.
What? Wow.
Yeah, it was absurd. Harry Hudson performed.
Harry
and
Hudson performed, yeah, and like The chain smokers were like literally like from where I am to Brandon, like just in the table. So I say that because like her saying this place is exclusive is not the same as just us being like, oh, this bar is kind of hard to get into. It's like, hey, this is like a literal like celebrity club and there were celebrities at every table type of thing. So it was so scary because we're like, oh my God, this place is intense.
So we get up there. Sure enough, the bouncer says, not a shot. No
way.
chance. No way. But Liv knows the guy inside. The problem is she has his phone number, but she doesn't know his name. Ugh. So she gets him to come outside. And all three of us are so drunk. We're like hugging him. We're like, oh my God. None of us think to ask him what his name is. So he's like, let me go back inside. Like, hold on. I'll get you guys in. Like, just wait a second. And we're all standing there looking at each other. We're like, fuck, what's his name? No clue. I start calling him Keith. I'm like, I think it's Keith. Casey's like, no, it's Johnny. What? I don't even remember
it was
what
Thomas.
Oh, it was Thomas. Okay. Eventually he comes back out, and I think the bouncer was so sick of seeing us just standing in front. At one point, he just goes, go in.
No, literally Liv walks up to them. So me and Brandon are standing off to the side, and Liv is like, I am going to do whatever it takes to get us inside. She was like, I don't care. I want to show you guys a good time. And me and Brandon were exhausted at this point, so we were kind of like, okay, like we could probably go home if we don't get in. And she's like, I don't care. She walks up to the bouncer and she's like, what do I have to do to get inside? He's like, wait out here for 20 minutes. She goes, fine. Walks over, 3 minutes goes past. She goes, I'm going to go convince him it's been 20 minutes.
And she does. We were like, there's no big deal. Like, we've been up for 25 hours. Our hotel's around the corner. Like, we'll just go to sleep. She's like, absolutely not. She's like, I'm not going in there alone. Like, we're a team. I was like, okay, girl. We go in. It is packed in there. We see Silvana.
Oh
Me
my
and
God.
Casey
Oh my
are
gosh.
shaking. We're like, oh my God, Silvana. She's like, hey guys. She was so nice. Exactly what you would picture her.
Oh my God.
It was. Then we hear someone go, Bran Flakes. I'm like, oh no. The bartender.
Please.
I go, you know me? I go, what is your name? Because it was hell getting in here. She goes, oh my God, what do you want to drink? I go, 3 tequila sodas. It is 2:30 in the morning. We have been up now for
Not a water?
27 hours, and Casey and I are chugging tequila sodas.
Yep.
Someone right there should have put us down. But yeah, we have a fantastic evening. I feel like that was like night one.
Yeah, we went back and literally couldn't even sleep. Like we
Yep.
were up just talking about the night,
We
just laying
got
in
home
bed.
at 3:30 in the morning. Casey and I decided to have this like full deep conversation, like talking about brands and influencers in general. I don't remember any of it.
Nope.
We're motor mouthing like whatever. Wake up the next day. I'm thinking, oh, we're gonna get so much sleep. We're gonna be dead. I look at Casey. I go, how many hours did we sleep? She goes, not even 5. I said, oh fuck. The altitude was affecting us, I think, when we slept, because I would wake up and my heart was racing. So I was like, all right, well, like, let's go into the town. Let's get like a really cute oat milk latte. Let's like take Instagrams. So we walk into town and everybody is so angry that we are not skiing. Like,
No, we got bullied.
It was like the most offense ever. So for as small of a town as Aspen was, we were so confused walking around there. I was like, we kept trying to go to this coffee place that we heard of, but apparently there's 3 locations. 2 of them are gift shops. So the one that actually sells coffee is dead ass right at the bottom of Aspen X, like the mountain or whatever. Oh, no. So we get up there, everyone's in their skis, like hitting you with their skis. People are like, the girl who's walking us there, because we got so lost, she's like, I'll take you there. She goes, you guys aren't skiing? And we're like, no, we don't ski. She's like, oh no, that's like such a shame. Like, you really should ski. We're like, we're here for work, which we were. I was like, we're not skiing. People were so angry.
Every single person asked us, the Uber driver, the hotel, like the lobby, the person who was working in the lobby, Esteban, our king, like literally every single person we encountered was like, oh, are you guys skiing? And when we said no, they were genuinely
It's a ski
offended.
town.
Like they wanted to kill us.
And it makes sense. They're like, first of all, it was a huge tourist weekend with the festival. So people who actually live there are already over it. And they're like, damn, you're going to come here and you're not even going to ski. But to our defense, we were scouted to work. Like we were literally, I was getting paid to be there. So I was like, I don't need to ski. Like, it is
I
what
also
it is.
can't. I can picture you, Casey, on skis. Honestly, graceful, your hair blowing in the wind, cute goggles, eating down.
So there was
You
a
want
quick
skis?
second that I thought about it. I was like, maybe we should try it. And Casey goes, Brandon, have you ever ridden a gondola? And I was like,
Oh my
no.
God.
She was like, you know it doesn't stop, right? Like, you
gotta
just
just get
get
off.
off.
Yeah.
I go, oh, I will never be doing that.
And there's no bar usually.
No.
And typically it's just an open seat, and
if
you
get
just
stuck
have
at
to
the top,
be
you
ready.
just gotta sit.
And Aspen to be the first place you try
Hell no.
skiing,
No,
like
no.
no.
Yeah.
And that's why
You would die.
I was just so confused because I'm like, shouldn't you all be happy that we're not taking up more fucking room on the slopes?
Right.
Like
Right.
the way we were the most hated people in Aspen, genuinely.
You
Like
said something really like the
Yeah.
surfboard thing. Yeah.
So like I was just telling Brandon, it was so interesting because if you go to like a beach town, no one cares if you don't know how to surf or if you don't like the water. Like you can chill on the sand, you could go to the local coffee shop and just sit in the sunshine. Like no one gives a fuck. But in Aspen, if you do not ski, you might as well just not be there because everyone skis and it's like they literally judge you. And there was like old ass people on the slopes too. Me and Brandon in our cute fits just taking Instagrams. I was like, oh, we've got to get out of here.
I was like, do I need to ski to après ski? I was like, what bars can I go to without having to actually ski? People were they were just like, fuck you.
You can. I was gonna say, did you guys check out après ski or whatever?
Well, we thought we were going to. So we got food. And then after we ate, we were like, oh, fuck, like we're really tired. Like we had a mimosa and I was like, wait, I think I could go to sleep now. And we went back to our hotel fully confident we're going to get like a 3-hour nap in before the festival. Nope. I thought Casey was asleep and I would like get up and she'd be like, hey. And I'd be like, oh shit, you're not asleep either. Like we just could not rest. And we were going to text people to après, but we were like, we should literally at least just like lie down. Like just try to just like rest. Not that helped at all. So no, we didn't end up operating, which was probably for the best because I think everyone would have been like, why are you in an aloe set? You need to be in your ski suit.
Well, the issue with that I did see is if you're not skiing, it's at the very, very, very top. So I've seen videos of people quite literally walking up the mountains, and I know that's not what you guys want to do.
Oh, that would.
I've been wondering how they ski down drunk. Because they get fucked up at that
But
bar.
you can take the lift down, right?
Yeah, and
I'm sure it's hard to get on it to go down, but I'm sure if you're like, also this happened to me the first time I went skiing. They pulled me down the mountain in a tube because I hurt myself skiing. I got on the wrong color slope, and I can imagine being in Aspen, but they literally put me in like a little. Like what are the things, the sled dogs? I'm not using correct language, but they put me in a literal boat
Like a
and
sleigh.
skied me down the mountain.
Yeah.
I've
That would've
walked
been me
down
and
before with
Brandon.
my
No,
skis.
that literally would have been us.
Yeah,
I
but
had no
they'll
interest.
get
I was
you
like, I'll
down.
die.
Yeah. Was it cold there? Obviously, but
So-
like freezing.
It wasn't that bad the first night, but we were actually, the second night we go to the festival and it is significantly colder.
Y'all got humbled.
Like I was like, oh shit, Casey, like it is cold. Not only that, it was also significantly more crowded because the second night was the Chainsmokers and Kygo, and Kygo like runs the festival. Like it's Palm Tree Crew is his brand, and this is Palm Tree Festival, which is so sick. Like Kygo's like,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He puts
him.
on a great show too.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's
was-
like one of my favorite DJs.
He was amazing. So like, I'm not gonna lie, the second night started off like kind of rough. Like Casey and I were just like sitting there at the booth and we were like eating sushi a little bit. We were like hoping there was gonna be some other food. And we have to go to the VIP tent. We go to the VIP tent. It was like Casey and I had never been fed a day in our life. We are going to every person bring around trays. What is that? Could I take 2 actually? We are eating. And thank God we did. We eat all of this food. I was like, okay, now we can go drink.
They're literally like walking out of the door like caterers at a party, and me and Brandon are standing at the doors catching them the second they walk out of the door. We are literally
We were starving.
I go, Brandon, that booth is right next to the door, and we stood right there. They were just bringing us the food by the end of it because we were housing
Oh my
that
god.
stuff.
Yeah.
Good idea.
So
Yeah.
like the vibes were like not amazing at this point. Like we are so cold. It's so crowded. The Chainsmokers come on, they're amazing, but they almost came on too early. Like they came on at 6:30. So like it was kind of upsetting that like there wasn't a huge crowd because most people got to the festival probably around 7:30, which they saw like the last 20 minutes of them, but like it wasn't going great. Then they bring over this shot ski. And keep in mind, Casey and I had been being so annoying the whole night. We were like, we can't get drunk. Like, what the fuck? Like, everyone said we were going to get drunk easier. We're like chugging. We cannot get drunk for the life of us. We do the shot ski. I don't know what was in that shot. It was delicious. But after that, it was like party mode was on. We go with Liv. to this random booth. I start doing shots out of the bottle of Don Julio. Like just people are pouring it in my mouth. It's all happening so quickly. Then we go into a booth. We see Silvana again. Drew from Chainsmokers. We're like, we can't make a big deal out of this. Like no one, because everyone's a celebrity, like no one's like, can we take a picture? Like we're just sitting there casually as I'm like chugging Don Julio, whatever. It was just a full blown blast at that point.
We were like, I was like trying to like take in the moment of seeing all these people, but also be fucked up, but also see Kygo and also like, oh my God, it was just so much happening at one time. And I was just like, wow, I'm going to black out. This is like where it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys.
So then Casey, this was like, it could have been a girly fight, but we were such good friends. Casey was like, Brandon, I will not go out in this outfit. She was like, I will not. And at first I was low-key such a bad friend. I was like, okay, well, like, could you go home and change and just meet me back out? And she like, at first you were like agreeable. And then like a second goes by and you're like, I would really like if you would come with me. And I was like, okay, I will.
It took you like 1 second to like.
Yeah, like our hotel wasn't far, but it was just like you had to take an Uber there where like we were at was in the town. So I was like, let's just go with this energy and run right to the town. But Casey did need to change. She had earmuffs on, my puffer coat. Like I was like, okay, yeah, let's go.
I did understand though, because even I was like trying to convince myself that I could go out in that outfit because I was afraid that
What
if
were
we
you
left,
wearing?
I was wearing, well, the problem was that I was wearing a long sleeve like base shirt, like kind of like for the viewers who are watching, like a plain shirt like this, and then a t-shirt over that. So my t-shirt and my sleeve were 2 different colors. So I couldn't even take my jacket off because I literally had on 2 different colors. Then I had earmuffs and leggings on. And I was like, Brandon, we are going to an after party. Like I cannot wear this.
You did
but
the
I was,
right thing.
Yeah, but I was afraid to leave because our energy was so fragile. Like we just started getting fucked up and we were like, fuck, like what do we do? And we decided to leave and it was the right choice.
I kept my outfit on. I go, I'm keeping this on in a full fleece snowsuit, which I didn't even remember wearing until like the next day I saw videos. I was like, oh my God, I genuinely wore that to the club.
Is that like weird if you wear a snowsuit?
No, people
definitely
were
not.
wearing stuff like that. Like there were definitely people dressed up, but there were also people kind of just coming straight from the festival. Like it was a very interesting going out town. It's also like not really a party town. Like it is, there are places to go, but it's not like a Vegas where people are wearing like heels and like it's
I
like
want to go there.
to
You would love
Aspen.
it.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful and it's like just so bougie. Like you would see signs and it would be like locations Vegas, Miami, and Aspen. Like it's just like one of those places.
There's this will be relevant, but to prove how nice it is, there's only one late night food spot. There's no fast food places. There's no corner stores to get some snacks. There's one pizza place.
And
That's
the
it.
line the line was 2 hours. They
For
literally
what?
for pizza. They were like, oh, if you're
whoa.
waiting for pizza, it's 2 hours.
Because it's the only place to get late night food. Like they just don't fuck with like that kind of like drunk sloppy
Yeah.
partying. It's like they don't do that.
Yeah. So we go back out. We go right back to Belly Up. We do the same itinerary again. We go to Belly Up. Who was performing that night? They were good too. I don't remember.
I don't even have any idea.
Yeah,
I
it was.
forget.
They were amazing though, and we were having so much fun. And then we go back to Gala. Same situation. This time they're like $100 for the 3 of you, and Liv is like, "I'll pay it." And we're like, "No, you are not. You are not paying." She was like, "No, you guys are in town only once." Like she was just so fun. We were like, "Liv, like no, we're not letting you do this."
This girl sounds hilarious.
She is amazing. This time, the bouncer, dead ass, all of a sudden just goes, "Go in." He's like, "Go in." And we're like, okay. They just let us in fully. Like, we must have looked so pathetic.
Yep.
And they just stamped. I literally, until 2 days ago, had the stamp on my hand. Just fully stamped us. And we go into like, it's kind of like Barstool. Like there's a parlay where everything is like really popping. And then there's like a casual bar. And the first night we were in the parlay. But this night we went in and it was so crowded that like it was like steaming almost. And
Yeah.
everybody was hitting into me. My bartender was working again. I said 3 tequila sodas. And I said, let's go back into like the bar.
Because at this point, we had also met up with other influencers on the trip, Kaylin and Dean, who are like a couple from The Bachelor. Literally love them. They're so sweet. We ended up going out with them. So we had kind of like expanded our group. So we had other people to like go hang out with.
And Dean lives in Aspen. Kaylin and Dean live in Aspen. So Dean had his friends come and they were just a very fun group of guys. But Brandon at this point should have been taken home.
Oh no.
Everything was hitting me at once. And I felt like I was a witness to my own actions. I decided to play Would You Rather with these people. But the most sick version you could think of. Like I would be like, would you rather like do this or get your dick sucked in front of everybody at the
Come
bar?
on, bro.
These men are like, what the fuck, bro?
But he's like not even letting them answer. He's like, oh, so you want your dick sucked? You want your dick sucked? Just being so funny. And honestly, like, he was great vibes because everyone was cracking up. Like, everyone was playing into it. It was so funny. But Brandon would turn to one person, ask, and then he'd sip his drink and turn to the next person and ask.
Tyler.
I was having fun. So, at this point, Casey and I, once again, are starving. We asked Dean's friends, like, hey, can we all leave and go get pizza? They're like, okay, yeah, there's a pizza place like across the street. We walk over there. They were like, we closed at 1 a.m. I'm like, how late is it? I'm like, oh shit, it's 2:30. Dean's friends is like, come back to our house. Like, we can make you food. We can make you food. Like, come on, you're only in Aspen for 12 more hours. Like, come on.
That's
He was
so
like,
convincing.
Get in
And
the
it
van.
was one guy's house. We should like give them like names. I can't like.
I don't,
But
just
there was
call him Matt.
Matt. So there was Matt's house, and then this other guy was like, "Oh, come back and I'll just make you like we'll find food, whatever's in the freezer. Like I'll just make you guys food."
We'll call him Tony. Tony's
yeah.
like, I'm friends with Matt. I'll go into Matt's fridge. I'll do like Top Chef. I'll take whatever's in there and make you food. We're like, okay, like just make it quick, whatever. At this point, I could see Casey's patience with me reaching its threshold because now we walk up. We're thinking we're going to Uber there. They're like, no, get in our car. I make Casey fully get into the trunk of a van. I said, Casey,
it really
you
was
gotta
get
sit-
in the van.
No,
Yep.
we dead ass got in a van with strangers in Colorado. Like red flag
Marvelous.
after red flag after red flag.
Giving mother God.
I go, can you play Take It Off by Fisher? They are bumping it for 5 minutes. I'm having a blast in the backseat, being the most like biggest dickhead version of myself that I could be.
Sounds
We-
electric.
We drive through the literal mountains.
Yes.
Like we are dark woods in the mountains, just
Yep.
blasting in the trunk of this
Wow.
car.
It was terrifying. We get to this house. Sure enough, Tony is like going through Matt's fridge, taking all this stuff out. Casey and I aren't even like processing. Casey at this point is like, Brandon, like we need to leave. And I'm like, okay, like 5 more minutes. Like I'm hungry.
I love when Mother Casey comes out to play.
I'm
And
like,
he was
Brandon, we have a flight in 8 hours and we haven't finished packing. We've G2G.
She was absolutely right. I was like, come on, like this is so fun. Like 5 more
It was
minutes.
really fun.
It was really fun. So this guy makes a scallop puree at 2 a.m. He takes out tater tots from the freezer, puts them in the air fryer, dices them up, makes scallops, takes all of this, like, I don't know if it was pesto or what it
Yeah.
was, fully blends it in a bullet.
What?
Makes a delicious, decadent dish for all of us at 3 a.m.
Who has
So he wasn't
scallops on
kidding.
deck like
No,
that?
the way that it was so crazy because this was all there was. We had gotten to the house with maybe like 6 people, and then I guess the guy Matt, the one who lived there, he started inviting his friends over, like his neighbors. So by the time, like it would have been like 20 minutes past, and a few more people had gotten there, so we weren't really like paying attention. But at one point, I look over at Tony, and he literally has like a dish rag flopped over his shoulder like a fucking chef.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
sweating. He has 2 pans going at the same time, and I was like, "What the fuck is he making?" And then we look. There's 4 plates with literally seared scallops on it. Like
What?
he genuinely presented us a chopped top
That
shelf
sounds
meal.
amazing.
We were being treated like royalty. They're like, as I'm eating, they're like, please don't go home tomorrow. You can't. I'm like, bro, I have to get out of here. Like,
What? Somebody came and collected our plates. After I took my last bite, a person came over and took our plates and put them in the sink. I was
Holy
like,
shit.
what the fuck is going on? And
Wait,
this
so
was-
where's Matt? If Tony's making the food,
Matt,
just-
at one point, no, I have a flashback. Matt at one point was like, I'm a DJ. Like, I would really like for you to listen to my stuff. And we like go in his bedroom and I'm like, wait
the
a minute.
van, the bedroom,
Yeah,
the
I'm like,
scallops?
for a second, I like disassociate. I'm like, what's about to happen? In here? And then I'm like, hold on a second. And then he plays me a song and it's really good. I was like, oh my God, you're so talented. Like, whatever. I was like, but I need to go eat.
But it was so funny though, because at this point, Brandon was in the room like listening to the music, and I was sitting on the couch with the girls. And for the listeners, Brandon has a really funny voice when he drinks and he gets like happy. So we had been separated for like 10 minutes. He comes back on. I'm like, what's going on? And Brandon's like, he's playing his music in there, and he said it like in this voice. He's like, it's really good. It was so funny.
So annoying.
So Casey's like, okay, Brandon, it's time. And I was like, fine, Casey, we'll call the Uber. Nope. No Uber's available. It's doing that thing where it loads all the way to the top and just isn't going. So I'm like, fuck, what are we going to do? This guy's like, oh, you have to call Highway Taxi in Aspen. Like, I promise they'll come in 15 minutes. I'm fully prepared. I'm like, okay, this taxi's going to cost like $300 because everything in Aspen is so expensive. They go, that will be about like $16. I'm like, please get here now. They pull up to this road. Casey and I are belligerent in this taxi. Like, I'm so fucked up. We get back to our hotel at 3:30 in the morning. Do not ask me how. I packed my whole suitcase. I don't remember a single second of it.
Right.
I'm going through little packing cubes, zipping everything up. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this in the morning, thinking I was going to sleep. And I was like, I'm just going to be done with it. Wake up 3 hours later. And I was like, oh no, this was a horrible idea. I don't feel like too horrible yet. So I remember when we talked about our hangover showers, I'm like, I'm going to jump in the shower and take like a freezing cold shower. And for 1 second and 1 second only did I feel better. Once again, my heart's racing. The room is it's weirdly hot in there. I think because it was all windows and just like the stale, dry air. Like I was like, Casey, I'm fucking sweating. Like it was bad. I was so proactive. I was like, you know what? We have an hour before we need to go to the airport. Let's get room service. I thought me and Casey were like dominating this day. We get bacon, we get potatoes, Casey gets her granola shit, we get fruit, we get yogurt, and we're eating all of it. And I'm like, oh my God, like we could have like sat in this hangover, but I'm so proud of us. Like, and then I'm like, now that I have food in my stomach, I still have a headache. Let me take an Excedrin. You know, I don't want to take that on an empty stomach. Yes, for the viewers at home, Excedrin has a lot of caffeine in it. So we go to the airport, and at first vibes are great. There's no line in security, which you think would be amazing. But unfortunately, all that did was give us time to sit in the hangover because our flight did not board for another hour and a half. So we sit down, my famous last words. I look at Casey, I go, this is just like the ideal airport to be hungover in. I was like, no one's here. I was like, this is so nice. Like we can just sit and relax. We're sitting by the food court. There's only like one food court in this airport. Everybody starts coming over to this area. No. Every single person in this Aspen airport. We're hearing rumblings. There's a storm tomorrow. Like people are now coming to the airport and flying out today because there's a storm coming the next day. It becomes quite literally the most overstimulating environment that you could think of. I say to Casey, you know, could you get me like a cold brew? Because she's going up to buy some snacks. I drink a can of a nitro cold brew. Mm-hmm. And at that point,
the cans are always bad.
A few minutes go by, and I'm like, I don't know, Casey, like I still have a really bad headache. I was like, could we just like move seats? And she's like, sure. Being such a good friend, we have all of our bags. We're sweating. I'm making her get up. We go over to a different area of the airport that is so quiet, beautiful. The literal second we turn around, a family with 2 children, one of them an infant, comes and sits right across from us. They were being so nice. The guy was like, oh yeah, like I used to party here in Aspen. I don't want to talk to anybody though. I'm going to the bathroom.
I'm like physically watching Brandon go downhill. Like from everything, from the sweat on his forehead to the color of his face, I am physically watching him lose control. And I had just eaten an edible and it had just hit the literal second that Brandon goes, can we move? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then we sit down. I'm like, great, my edible's hitting and Brandon's about to have a panic attack. Like it was a recipe for disaster.
But then it gets worse. I said, Casey, do you have another Excedrin?
Oh my
head
God.
is pounding. And I think at this point, it was the lack of sleep, the dehydration, the hangover, and the altitude. Like my head, it literally felt like someone like had a knife and was cutting it open. And when I have migraines, I need to like lay down in the dark with a cold compress, but I'm in the airport. And I'm like, okay, the only thing that ever works is like caffeine. So I'm like, give me another Excedrin. Not even 3 minutes go by after I ingest this. And I already am like, that is a huge mistake. My heart is now like, I felt like a speed runner going crazy. I go to the bathroom. I'm like trying to wash my face off. I'm like, holy shit, like this is really bad. Then I hear over the intercom that our flight starts to board. I'm like, no. I go up to the woman working and I said, listen, I know that that's our plane right there because you have to walk onto the plane at Aspen. I was like, I know that it's not my boarding group yet, but can I please just go stand outside? You can literally look at me. She's like, I'm sorry, I can't. I can book you a later flight though. And I go up to Casey, literal tears welling in my eyes. And my anxiety is so high now that my upper lip is completely numb, which only has ever happened to me once when I had a panic attack in New York. So I know right now I'm having a panic attack because anxiety numbness constricts the blood vessels and then you can't feel them. I look at Casey and I'm like, I don't know if I can get on this plane. I was like, I really like, I'm about to have a panic attack. Like I feel it coming on. Like, I don't know if I can get on this plane. Casey was like, well, what are our options? And I literally always think of the worst case scenario when I'm having like anxiety, because then I'm like, okay, that's the worst thing that can happen. It's not that bad. This was quite literally one of the worst case scenarios. I was like, well, we could not get on the flight. There's a storm coming tomorrow. So we'll probably have to stay in Aspen for 2 more days. Casey will have to miss 2 days of work. It's $2,000. I was like, it's $2,000 to fly out of here. So that's going to be expensive. It's probably about $1,000 a night for a hotel here, especially booking the day of. That's a pretty horrible situation. And I could be a good friend and let Casey get on the plane, but then I'm alone. So I either have to make Casey suffer with me or I have to suffer alone. So Casey's like, why don't you just try to go outside when we board the plane and let me know what's going to happen? I am damn near shaking. Casey is being such a good friend. She's like, hear that, Brandon? Like, the air feels so cold. This is so nice. I'm like, it's not working, Casey. We get on the plane. We sit down, and I put the little air conditioning thing above me. And Casey's such a good friend. She puts hers on me, too. And for 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, my God, this is all I needed. I'm breathing. I feel good. I turn to Casey. I'm like, I'm really sorry. Like, that was just, like, really bad. Like I just needed to calm down. We then get stuck on the runway for 45 minutes. And it was, Casey couldn't even gaslight me at this point anymore.
Nope.
I could tell that Casey was getting down bad too. She looks at me, she goes, this is torture. Because all I'm trying to do is get on in the air. I'm like, as long as I can get in the air, at least I can get to Dallas, which is where our layover was. And if I get to Dallas and have to cancel my flight to Philly, no big deal. There's a million flights to Philly out of Dallas. But I was like, I have to get out of Aspen. Like, I'm trapped in the mountains. Finally, we get in the air, and like after 30 minutes, it's only an hour and a half flight. Like, I kind of feel less anxious, but I just start to feel sick. I'm like, oh, I'm still like mind-blowingly hungover. I'm like sweating. We land in Dallas, and like for a second, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna throw up in front of everybody. Like, I'm not even gonna be able to make it
They
to the
have little
bathroom.
bags for that.
But I didn't have one. We get off the airport at Dallas. It is 80 degrees in Dallas. We are in Ugg boots, puffer coats. And Dallas is, I guess, apparently the largest airport in America, where you have to take a monorail to get from terminal to terminal.
That's so annoying.
We land in Terminal E. We have to take the monorail to Terminal D. The problem is, in the alphabet, E comes after D. So after you go on E, you have to go all the way to A first, then B, then C, then D. And there's 2 stops for each terminal. So we fully are sitting in 80 degrees on a monorail, post-panic attack, in 80 degrees.
Those things go fast, too.
Yes. Luckily for me, I have joined therapy. So I text my therapist and I said, hey girl, listen, I've got a panic attack going on right now. I know this isn't our session, but you got to help me. And if anyone at home ever needs a tip, she said, get 2 ice cold bottles of water, put one on your back and drink the other one. So I did that, started to feel a little bit better. She's like, you're also hungover, so you need to drink like either a ginger ale and then eat something salty. I eat a bag of Fritos, delicious. And Casey actually makes me get a kombucha, which really helped. It like was shocking my system. I start settling down, but I know that when we get on this Dallas flight, it was for certain. I was like, I know I'm going to bring on another panic attack. Luckily, the Dallas flight did not stay on the runway. Like, we got on in like 10 minutes, it gets up in the air. The first 40 minutes of the flight, I deadass had to meditate. I was just breathing in and out through 4, in through 4, holding it, out through 4, and just repeating over and over to myself, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, and drinking water. 40 minutes into the flight, I had to pee so badly because I was drinking so much, but my whole body was numb, and I was like scared I wasn't gonna be able to get up. And then after I went to the bathroom, I like felt a relief. I looked at the like American Airlines app. It's like, you have an hour and 40 until you land. I was like, I can do this. But it was the scariest situation of my life.
God, Brandon.
Yeah, man.
And that was Aspen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was like the universe's way of paying us back for having so much fun and treating our bodies like garbage.
Yeah.
It's a horrible payback. That
Yeah.
sounds crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, like, and if any viewers at home are watching this and want to like comment on YouTube, like, I'm scared to fly again now, just because I'm scared I'm going to like bring on another panic attack just out of sheer fear. But I know like that doesn't make sense, because all of those elements between the altitude, the dehydration, the caffeine, and the hangover, like, it was a perfect storm. So I'm just hoping that I remember that the next time I fly. I will never drink again before a flight, like, ever. I will never take basically 3 Excedrin and a nitro cold brew. Like, I just made horrible choices.
My heart's pounding thinking about that.
Yeah.
So what happened with you guys this weekend?
What did we miss?
I got nothing.
I know, we kept it chill. Like, we didn't even hang out. I feel like I was just trying to be an adult, and I just had so much like shit to like actually do my taxes, clean, so, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I had a chill weekend, no visitors. I just wanted to get like a good night's sleep. So if for the listeners, viewers who have been listening since episode 1, I have had this young man, text me multiple times. Yes.
Back? Gosh, damn
Saturday at 10:46, I was just trying to watch Meet the Parents with Ben Stiller. Great film. And it's 10:46 p.m. What's up, stranger? I had to do a double take. Look at all of these fucking messages I haven't answered.
Oh my God.
He just keeps going. I still didn't answer that one, but I was like, I even tried to like, I should just block it at this point. But I
was gonna say block it, but also it's great content. So please, selfishly for us, don't.
Yeah, because I went to airplane mode as soon as he sent it. To like, and maybe if he was gonna send another one, it was just gonna go straight to text. So I was like, whatever. Didn't send another one.
I feel like that is the quintessential difference between men and women, straight men and women, is because we will sit here and criticize every text we send to a man, every DM, every interaction we have with a man, and we will think about it for the next 3 weeks, where this man has 8 to 10 unanswered texts from you, and he still sits there, opens up his phone, and says, let me text her again.
Dead ass. Like,
That's such a good point.
I'm like,
Like, what? That is crazy.
that's why I think he has to quite literally open up this message thread, unless he sends them and deletes them. But he
I'm
knows.
not gonna lie to you guys. I have gone through phases where not to strange men, to boyfriends, where I've drolled and flooded their phones. And I just delete it because I never said that. So
Yeah, but
when
you're
I
a
open
girl,
it up
like-
again, I'm just a girl.
I know
so.
this man is not deleting them. I know he's looking at them being like, she's going to answer one of these. I know.
No,
She's
I'm
not.
not.
Maybe with the restraining order. Give it up.
Dead ass. He's so freaking annoying. But my search for love still continues. So I recently got accepted into Raya. Remind me to tell you guys something afterwards too. I just forgot about it. So Raya, so I got accepted, and for Raya, the people listening, it's another dating app, but it's more exclusive and like, I guess it's just more exclusive.
You have to be accepted.
Yeah, like you have to go through a whole accepting thing. I had to like DM them a code.
You have to get like a referral from somebody who's
Yeah.
already on the app.
That's too much.
And it used to be like LA. I mean, it kind of is like LA, New York, Miami, like big cities could get like athletes on there because you have to be accepted and go through extensive like screening and backgrounding. But Philly, I feel like there's not that many people, so I got accepted rather quickly. The issue with that is there's no free trial. There's no like sugar plan or anything. You have to pay $25. And that is the lowest plan I have. So for the podcast, for an experiment, I was like, let me just do it. Because I actually hate dating apps because I can't start a conversation with someone like over text. I mean, I just hate it. Like you can't get my personality through like text.
Yes, you can.
I guess you can.
It's
but
a treat if you know.
I
me.
also just hate answering. I hate going on another app and like trying to. DMs are horrible. That's why I'm not in charge of Instagram. Like I just hate it. So I was like, let me just do this. I paid my $24.99. But
Is that a one-time fee?
no, it's monthly.
Oh.
What? It's monthly. Or I could have. Or they make it like a deal where you could pay like $119 up front, which comes down to $18 a month.
Shut up.
I'm like,
Lucky you.
oh hell. Yeah. So I was like, all right, 25. But there wasn't really that many people in Philly thus far. So when I like originally downloaded, probably like Saturday or Sunday, probably Saturday, and there wasn't that many people on it because it does that thing like Hinge or Tinder. I forgot what it is, but like I clicked through probably 3 of them and said, all right, you're done for the day. There's nobody else left.
Shut up.
So I was like, oh, I just paid $25 to go through like 3 people. But then, then the next day I got like more connections and I haven't seen any NFL players yet, but I've seen like a lot of like New York. It does tell you, which I think is like interesting, if it's like, if they're traveling. So like, I'll be like traveling. It's like, I'm traveling from, I don't know why this just popped in my head, like San Juan, like or like, let's say like California, and I'm coming to Philly for like 3 days and it lets you know, but I'm like, all right. But I guess like that app is like for like literally like elite people and like they're traveling and like from like a long distance relationship. It doesn't seem like hook uppy.
Very jet set lifestyle.
Yeah. And like, I don't really want to do any of that. But like I've seen a few Philly people. I've got some connections. But I recognized them from Hinge. I said, this is nothing new.
Paying $25.
Seen someone I knew. I said, oh, I'm not doing this. But I've seen more connections, so I want to like get more into it. But like,
I will, this might not be true, you can tell me, but I'm pretty sure I heard that you only get 3 screenshots before they like ban your account. So if you see someone famous, figure out a different way to take a picture of it
I had
because
no
you can't do it with a
idea.
Wait until
screenshot.
you're with
Yeah.
us. We'll take a picture of it.
thank
Yeah.
you. I get my
Our
laptop.
next vacation, I feel like we should test the traveling thing.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the next place we'll go will probably be Vegas. And I think we should absolutely play with that app.
No, you're absolutely
Yeah.
right. Yeah, so that was that. I love it. I mean, I don't love it, but it's like interesting.
Yeah.
No, it sounds cool.
No, you're being a spokesperson for the group, and we appreciate your dedication.
Thank you. It was cool on there too, because like you can put your places that you like. So like I put like Vinyl and Elmira, like certain like there was like the Ritz on there. You can like have like a list of things, a list of restaurants or like clubs or whatever that you go to, and like someone else is gonna have that same interest.
Wow.
I was like, damn, this is advanced.
You'll have to show us your pictures after.
Oh yeah, I shall. So I feel like I'm talking forever. Segueing into more dating apps. Have you guys been seeing this Who the Fuck Did I Marry? Like all over your For You pages on TikTok?
I watched the summary that you sent because I do not have all 55
Wait,
hours.
can you not spoil the ending?
Yeah.
I can't know. I listened at the gym today and I'm only on part like 20.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's
But
so
it's
many.
crazy.
Yeah, so for the viewers, or if you haven't heard of this, it's pretty much a 50-part TikTok series of this woman who is an amazing storyteller, which got me hooked. She recaps it. She just says everything so well. And it's pretty much she met this man from a dating app who's from Philly, which I thought was crazy.
Lord.
I was like, damn. And their first date was Cheesecake Factory, which I thought was like, I'm like, wow, Between Us Girlies, she listens. But no. But
Get
no.
her a chair.
So this is actually a pandemic relationship. So it started in like 2020. She met him over a dating app. They ended up living together during lockdown, and it just became like so much. But during the whole course of the relationship, she just kept noticing a lot of red flags. She called it red flag union. She's like, this was insane. Like even when they first met, she popped her tire and he bought her a new tire. And then he kept just doing these. I don't know how far
He
you are.
consistently lied to her about things that he was going to do for her. That including purchasing her a home, cars. Like it's crazy the
Yeah.
extent that he went to produce these lies.
Just like lying about everything, but he's a narcissist. So he was getting excited. He was getting excited over watching her get excited about something that's not coming true. So he was taking his time out to like go to car dealerships, make these like tours for houses, knowing damn well he didn't have the money. He said like he was showing like bank statements, like he was getting approved for like a $700,000 mortgage, but like. It just kept falling through. Like they didn't get the house. He wouldn't get the car. He said he was a VP of things. It was just, there's so many red flags, but she's so honest in it. She was like, I know you guys are going to say like, you're so stupid. She's like, I was afraid to be alone. I was afraid to be alone in pandemic. I was afraid of being alone. I wanted to get married. And she was like, I'm being honest. Like obviously look out for yourself and like look at these red flags. But it's like, I just loved how honest she was about it.
I like admire that. Like give yourself some grace.
Yeah.
She like COVID was a really hard time. We all made choices we're not proud of. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
it
He even like
happens.
promised her a trip to London.
Has he like come out?
Yes.
Oh.
So
He did?
yes. So she ended up having him a code name and she called him Legion. And Legion, I forgot his real name, but he started to post TikToks now and saying like, don't believe her, that's a lie. But then all the comments are like, you're trying to gaslight us now, you're a liar. Like it's just like such a like everyone doesn't believe him. But like he promised her a trip to London.
That's crazy.
She obviously they didn't go. But now she's going so viral. I saw a TikTok of people in London like watching like they were just standing outside of a storefront, a window front, and like watching her. And
She's
I'm like,
got to have like a fat brand deal coming.
She
Like,
has
she's
to.
verified
But she
already?
probably has multiple. Like someone is gonna like do something great with her.
I think like Netflix. I mean, like it was. You guys know I do not have an attention span for like movies. I mean, I do, but I end up falling asleep. When I tell you, I went on YouTube and someone compiled all 50 parts, and it was a 5-hour YouTube video.
Yeah.
I spent Sunday watching that full 5 hours while you guys were having a hell of a time traveling. I made myself 2 espresso martinis, like because I was like, oh, I'm an adult, I can do this. But it was just, if you have the time.
It's so cool that like people can just tell their stories on TikTok now, because that is literally like a Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
And I'll save this for another episode. I feel a certain way about Netflix documentaries these days, but it's so cool that she can tell her story from her perspective, and it's so much like more real than if you watched it on Netflix or HBO. Like it's literally her telling it while she's driving, while she's getting ready. Like
Exactly.
it just brings you more into her story, and it's like is a really cool thing that you can do that on TikTok now.
Yeah,
Like
she like was so good at even like I was like I had to listen to it on my way to work too. Like I was like on like YouTube
Dedicated to that 5 hours.
because it hooks you. I don't know. It just really got me sucked
I was on
in.
the treadmill for an hour today. I hate working out as per my figure. And I'm on the treadmill going crazy, just running up these videos. I got lost in it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, wow. All right, girlies. So it's time for us to get into our would you rathers. And lucky for you, I have a few. Would you rather, first one, be locked in a cold, dark basement for 12 hours 2 days out of every month for a year, with only the song Happy by Pharrell blasting at volume 24. Or every time you have to use the restroom, I don't care if you have to poop, puke, pee, wash your face, take your makeup off, every time you have to go into the bathroom besides showering, it has to be done in the back of an economy plane of your choice. You can pick Delta, you can pick Southwest, Spirit, Frontier, whichever you choose.
I will be on that American Airlines plane, and I'll tell you why. As soon as you said "ha," but like happy is it's my least favorite song ever. It is so horrible, and I love Pharrell, but like that is such a bad song. No, absolutely not. I'm going to the back of the plane, American Airlines. I chose it.
Is death an option?
No, you can't get out of these.
I can't do the airline. I feel like I'm like always afraid of being in an what am I trying to say? Airplane bathroom. I was going to say aircraft. An airplane bathroom, because I feel like my intrusive thoughts will win over and I'll like jump through the hole or like do something ridiculous. Like I've never understood intrusive thoughts until I'm in a bathroom and I'm like, oh my God, like I don't know. I like can't control myself in there. So I've got to go to the dungeon or whatever the fuck the first one
I
was.
think I have to pick the dungeon too.
Wow.
It will be horrible, but I'll get through it. What are you doing?
I'm picking the Happy by Pharrell.
Yeah.
Two Saturdays, like, oh, you guys can't hang out. I'm going to the basement.
Fuck that.
Oh, I hope the viewers are watching on YouTube so they can see Bailey's face.
That is, oh no.
Imagine throwing up on the floor of the American Airlines. Like, you can't even get on your knees.
And like, no offense, but like, that's not my job to clean it up. It's not my home.
Jesus Christ.
Like, no offense. Like, that is someone's job. So don't get upset with me, viewers.
God.
Well, the second one I have is, it splits into two parts because only one can apply to Casey and Bailey and one can apply to Brandon. So I've adjusted the question.
I'm so scared.
Would you rather, within the next 2 years, have a cryptic pregnancy? You don't know when it's happening. You just know that your tummy hurts and you're in the hospital. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know what cryptic meant till that.
Yeah, just within the next 2 years, like you're having a baby and it's coming out. There's no other options. You must have the child. You can put it up for adoption, but that's your choice. Or you get to raise a child within the next year. Someone drops their kid off to you and says, here's a baby, enjoy.
Mine.
Within the next year, random time. Or every basket that LeBron James shoots in his next season, and y'all know that he puts up buckets.
That's my man.
Every shot, you have to get some kind of patriotic tattoo on your body. It could be the Liberty Bell, an American flag, a bald eagle.
Fuck you,
Lindsay,
Lindsay. I'm
where
not playing this game.
Think of these.
I told you I wanted to do it.
I will be raising a child.
Oh my God.
It will be great for the brand.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to take some Tums and pop out a kid because
Brainsley
I
says a
just
baby.
got into good shape. I don't know if I can really sacrifice that to be a mother in 2 years.
Oh, and what shape
but
are you going to
you
be in
want
with
the
tattoos
patriot
Let's think
everywhere?
about this
Tattoos.
case. You'd have to dye your whole body red.
Okay, but yeah, that's so true.
It's also a horrible conversation starter. Imagine you're a full blown, you're a walking
You're going to be
American
tattooed
flag.
from head to toe. Imagine when you're going to be older.
Why
You
do you have Betsy Ross tattooed right like
you
some
have to have a
bullshit?
baby.
I just don't want to be a mother. But I get it.
It's cryptic pregnancy. Your body
She
will stay
said
the
you could
same.
get rid of it. She said adoption.
Get rid of it.
true.
Jesus.
If I like just had the twins right now.
It's a cryptic pregnancy. You're not going to look any different. You just
Is
have
that when
to-
it like grows in your back?
No, Brendan, that's an
What?
No,
Do the end.
You're thinking of an you're thinking of an ectopic, which is when it grows outside of your fallopian tubes. It's very dangerous for the woman. Welcome to my doctor episode.
Damn.
Cryptic pregnancy is when you show no signs of pregnancy. Like we're literally drinking,
Yeah.
doing the things we do, looking the way we look.
Like that TLC show. What's it?
I didn't know I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you literally like, oh,
Very
my tummy
obvious
hurts so
name.
badly.
Oh,
You
but
go
it,
to the
like-
doctor and you produce a full 9-month baby.
Damn. All right. Well, I'm having a kid. You're having a kid too, right?
Hell yeah! What do I look like walking around with an American flag on my
Yeah,
back?
you're right.
George
You're right.
Washington. Those would be hard though.
Stars and stripes
Some of them?
across
That's what
my
I was
chest.
thinking. I was like, could I just get like a star for every basket he makes and like
That's 50 points, but he can
Yeah,
make
like-
that in a game.
Yeah.
Think of how many games he has.
Yeah, I guess there are a lot of games. Yeah.
He has like probably 2 years left in him.
Damn it,
so.
I'm having a child. Fuck.
Wow, I can picture you in full-blown American, like, and honestly, it would change your entire aesthetic and brand.
I'd have to change my name to like Savannah and like just to completely do a
Or
rebrand.
Kaylee. Oh no, I don't want
Yeah.
I'm going to offend some people.
Yeah, if your name's Savannah, I love that name. It's what I used to use at a bar. but-
BAYLEIGHQUE, some shit.
Yeah.
Well, that was a fun game of Would You Rather. I'm glad you all participated, but it's time to move along. Maybe next week we'll get a new one. TikTok, what's on everybody's fib?
Guys, I finally have one. Kate Middleton is missing.
No.
I went down this rabbit hole. First of all, it started on Twitter, and I was like, there has to be some TikToks about this. When I sent you guys that TikTok yesterday, it had 83 likes. It is now at like over 20,000 likes.
No way.
Kate Middleton like apparently had this like abdominal surgery, and her last like public appearance was Christmas Day, and it's now like February 28th and no one has seen her. And like all of this weird shit's going on where like William's not like signing her name, and there's like different letter stamps, and like people, I think because of like Princess Diana, just like are very suspect of like the royal family, and they like dead ass think that like Kate Middleton is like either in a coma or dead. But then there is a Twitter theory that she's recovering from a BBL. People are so fucked
get
up.
out of here.
So that's been all of my FYP. I finally have one.
Crazy though.
Yep.
When you sent me that, I was like, because I love the royal family, anything drama related.
Yeah.
But that's wild. Because like, I mean, for like her and William, for like, because I feel like they're the face of the royal family now, kind of, because Harry's not in the picture.
Yeah.
I mean, he's whatever. But that is really weird, especially like the signing of the things and changing the letterhead.
It is, and it's also really weird because like it's going pretty viral at this point, and like I think I saw yesterday that the doctor like made a statement like, "Oh, Kate's just like recovering," but like, damn, upload a picture of her, y'all. You've got
Recovering
people
from
convinced.
what?
I wonder what the British news
abdominal
tabloids are
surgery.
saying.
Oh, sorry, that went right over my head.
Yeah, but well, that's been all over my FYP. Hope she's okay.
No, I really hope she's okay.
I think she is. I think the internet's kind of just like clowning right now, but like if something actually happens, that's like crazy.
What if
There's
she comes
one
back
thing
with a fat ass? Like Kate Middleton's dragging that wagon.
That's true. If there's one thing the internet's going to do, it's going to take a joke too far. Like, they are going to ride this into the ground. Remember when they thought that Trisha Paytas' baby was the queen? Like, because the queen of England, like, died the same day that Trisha Paytas' baby was born. So people were just going crazy with it.
I mean,
That's my
she
royal
is.
family.
My royal family.
What's on your guys' FYP?
Our trending sound.
Oh my God, yes. Thank you guys. We got a trending sound on TikTok. It's over like 10,000 videos. It's me saying absolutely not while talking about walking out of Barstool. So that's really funny.
Yeah, I thought that was fun.
Anything else?
I don't know if I have anything.
TikTok's been weird recently.
Yeah. I've been, like, recovering from Aspen, so I'm literally not on my phone because I am, like, sleeping if I'm not awake.
There was something, and I was gonna write it down, but I just checked my notes app and it's not there. So when it
Well,
comes to me,
Does anyone have an immunity necklace?
I've got one.
Finally.
I know. This immunity necklace is to one very specific person. And she
First
is in
and last
Aspen,
name.
Colorado as of right now. So me and Brandon are leaving the bar. I think it was night one. We're leaving the after party. And we see this girl crying outside of on the corner of the street. And anytime you see a girl crying on the corner of the street and she doesn't have people around her, you should always go check in. That's like a rule, girl code, boy code, whatever the fuck. You should always go do that. So me and Brandon walk over and we're like, oh my God, are you okay? Because she's like obviously like very distraught. And she's like crying. She's like, some girl just pushed me down the steps. And then she looks me and Brandon up and down and she goes, she was from Jersey and it looks like you are too. And I'm sorry if that's offensive, but she's so annoying. She just pushed me down the steps and she's literally crying and is looking at me. And she's like, I'm really sorry if that offends you, but like, I really hate people from Jersey. I was like, excuse me? One, way to rip my fucking wig off. I'm out here in Aspen thinking like, damn, I look like Alex Earl. Meanwhile, she's like, oh, you're from Jersey? You're a bitch. Like literally, I was speechless at that point. I was like, okay, you're fine. I'm going to walk away now. So...
That's the immunity necklace. Like, if you are a girl crying, be nice to the people that try to take care of you.
Yeah.
Like, we were fully, like, thinking that something horrible happened. Nope, she just came to cook us.
Yeah.
No good deed goes unpunished.
she set
Wow,
you guys
you're
up.
absolutely right.
She should. I see them walking. She put on a whole front.
I've never been looked up and down like that before. Like she genuinely from my feet to my head looked me.
What was funny was I was, like, about to be like, we're from Philly. And Casey, like, grips my arm. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't make it any better.
Yes, it could be worse.
Decent, like a 20-minute ride.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
That's a good episode. I'm glad you guys had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back in Philly. Aspen was great, but I belong here.
I love Flatland.
Well, maybe we'll get into some ruckus this weekend, but for now, let's keep what we talked about between us girlies.